No
Thanks.
problem. And then the land contract.
Told you had new lips.
Ready? Brandy, you hear us okay? It's a little light, but we can hear you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, Shannon.
In order to vote on zoning on a piece of property, do you have to be here?
Just a moment, this is Toby. Just, Dustin, you may want to keep that remote handy because there may be some feedback.
Okay. Thank you. And just jump in, Toby, anytime you need to.
Yep.
We appreciate you. Toby's always on the back end making sure everything runs just right, so we appreciate that.
Excellent. We ready? All right. We are right on time or just a moment late, but welcome. This is the first preliminary determination hearing, a public hearing for our bond project. So I will start very scripted, so bear with us as we read through. The item next here is to hold a preliminary hearing on the proposed project. If you're interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you've signed the sign-in sheet, which should include your name and address. After a presentation by the administration and its advisors, there will be an opportunity for the public to make comments about the project. At the hearing, we will ask that each person limits their comments to 3 minutes and that the topic be limited to the proposed project under consideration. This notice of preliminary determination hearing was published as legally required, and at this time, I'll ask Dustin Gehring, Superintendent, to explain the purpose of the hearing.
Absolutely. Pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1.1-20-3.5 or 3.1, a school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminarily determine to issue bonds or to enter a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of certain thresholds. These public hearings and the future consideration of resolutions are the very beginning of this legal process. We note that no board action is legally required at this hearing. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment regarding the project.
Excellent. Thank you. We will now hear from Dustin Gehring about the process of determining and communicating the project to the community and the need for the project.
Well, thank you. And I apologize, this is a bit lengthy, but I do want to make sure we go through everything, taking us back a little bit and bringing us up to current state. In March of 2024, the board approved continuing FCCSC's 5-school model for the foreseeable future. With that decision made, the board shifted its attention from determining which buildings would serve our students to determining how we could preserve and improve those buildings and the campuses for years to come. To answer that question, a comprehensive facility and viability assessment was conducted, much like the previous assessment conducted a few years ago. Those independent assessments concluded that each of our 3 elementary schools is structurally viable and capable of serving students for at least the next decade, provided that appropriate restorative improvements are completed. One of those assessments, conducted by Performance Services, identified approximately $25 million in restoration needs across our 3 elementary schools. These are not expansion upgrades. These are investments necessary to preserve the life of our existing buildings by addressing the aging infrastructure, improving building systems, enhancing safety and security, and modernizing instructional environments. The assessment identified needs including campus improvements, building envelope repairs, HVAC replacement and upgrades, plumbing improvements, electrical system improvements, roofing, classroom renovations, technology infrastructure, lighting upgrades, secure classroom door hardware, and cafeteria equipment. Together, these improvements are designed to ensure that all 3 elementary schools remain structurally sound, safe, secure, modern, and future ready. In spring of 26, after reviewing the assessment findings, the board reaffirmed its commitment by approving the next phase of the Master Facility Improvement Plan. The board established a clear direction to renovate and upgrade all 3 existing elementary schools according to need, with the bond-funded projects focused on improvements identified through the viability assessments. From a financial standpoint, the board has taken a thoughtful and a responsible approach. The proposed improvements are being phased over multiple years, allowing us to address the most significant restoration needs while structuring the financing to maintain our current debt service tax levy and preserve flexibility within our debt capacity for future improvements. At its core, this plan is guided by simple philosophy: fix what's needed and improve what matters. These investments are about extending the life of our existing schools, providing safe and reliable learning environments, supporting modern instruction, and ensuring that our facilities reflect the excellence of our students and staff. Ultimately, however, this project is an investment not just in these 3 buildings, but in the future of FCCSC. The unified project proposed, The unified project proposed allows us to prepare for the future beyond the improvements noted previously. The unified project creates an opportunity for future projects as the board prepares for the next phases for FCCSC by protecting our debt capacity while still requiring transparency, allowing for community involvement each and every time a project is proposed. Think of the unified project as an umbrella of protected capacity that the board, through all the proper and required hearings and processes, can leverage to serve the needs of the corporation.
Excellent. We will now hear from Dustin Gehring about how the proposed project meets the need as just described.
The proposed project, the unified project, is intentionally designed to address the needs identified through our independent facility assessments and the priorities established by the Board of School Trustees through the Master Facility Improvement Plan, while still ensuring that our debt capacity is protected and our debt level is maintained, which ensures transparency and opportunity for the community influence with each project all along the way. This work also reflects our commitment to responsible stewardship of the facilities entrusted to us. By investing in preventative restoration today, we're extending the useful life of our buildings, reducing the likelihood of more costly emergency repairs in the future, and ensuring our schools continue to serve our students' programmatic needs well into the next decade and beyond. The project before you this evening is a part of a broader vision for our school corporation. This is not the end of our facility planning. It is simply the next step. Over the coming months, the board will continue refining the next phase of our long-range facility plan and identifying the projects that best meet the needs of our students, staff, and community. As existing debt is retired and the corporation reaches an anticipated debt cliff again, additional debt capacity will become available, allowing the board to thoughtfully evaluate those future priorities. By structuring these improvements as a unified project, we are addressing the restoration needs identified in our facility assessments, while also creating the flexibility to strategically pursue future improvements as they are identified and approved by the board. This approach allows us to think beyond individual projects and instead make decisions that support a cohesive, long-term vision for FCCSC grounded in responsible financial stewardship and continued commitment to our students and community. This is about making thoughtful decisions that build upon one another over time. This unified approach allows us to meet today's needs while positioning the corporation to responsibly address tomorrow's needs and opportunities as they arise. Ultimately, this plan reflects our commitment to our students, our staff, and our community. It invests in safe, reliable, and modern learning environments while preserving the buildings that have served FC for generations. It is a plan built on providing the very best educational environments possible for every student we serve. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, we will now hear from Matt Schumacher, correct me if I'm wrong. Maker, okay, that's what I thought. From our partner from Stifel Financial about how the proposed project will be financed, as well as information about the effect on the typical property taxpayer.
Okay, good evening. Matt Shoemaker with Stifel. Great to see you all tonight. My role tonight is to talk through the proposed project's financial impact, show how it can fit into your current debt service fund levy without increasing taxes on your taxpayers. So where we always start is taking a look at your current debt service fund obligations. So this page shows all of your outstanding bond issues as we stand here today. Color-coded, they are stacked on top of each other to show your annual levy for each and every year. Levy being the amount of taxes that you are requiring from the taxpayers to pay off your debt on an annual basis. So in 2026, you can see your current debt service levy is just shy of $6 million. It is scheduled to drop significantly in 2027. Once you make your payments in calendar year 2026, you guys are essentially out of debt. You have some small payments left, but this is a wonderful position to be in when you're talking about potential projects in the future. I will say this page is no coincidence. This is years of kind of long-range financial planning to put you in this position to be able to do these projects and do them in a way where you're not impacting the taxpayers. As we look at the proposed project, we've shown several different projects here, but this would be for a total authorization of $80 million. In the gray, this is the page that I just showed you, the payments in 26, 27, all the way through 2032. The other colors represent the potential projects down the road. Now, we've set this up to have 4 different bond issues. All of this is completely fluid. None of this is set in stone. All of this will be driven by you and the administration. We've simply run it this way to show as a test case that you can do this and do it in a way where you're not increasing the levy. Again, if we're not increasing the levy, we're not asking taxpayers to pay more in taxes for these projects than they're paying right now. So again, current debt service levy in this budget year of 2026 is just under $6 million. The idea would be to stay at that levy moving forward. If we're staying at that levy moving forward, we're not asking for taxpayers to pay more tax dollars above what they already are for these projects. The amounts, the years, all of that is totally driven by you. You will make the decisions on how much is borrowed at what point and for what projects. This simply shows that it can be done in a levy neutral situation. The last page, you're not voting on a resolution tonight, but I do like to put all the financial parameters out here so that if there are any questions or confusion, we can talk about those tonight before you're asked to vote on anything. So maximum par amount of the bonds that we've talked about would be $80 million. That is a not to exceed number. You are not obligated to borrow all 80 million. You can borrow any number up to the 80 million over as many different bond issues as you want. What you can't do is go above that 80 million. So we've set that as the high water mark, but you can borrow any number underneath that. You just can't exceed that number. Estimated capitalized interest and costs of issuance. These are upfront professional fees. We're always very conservative with this number. We've listed this at $1,250,000. The number is going to be much less, but these are worst case financial parameters. We're not going to breach these numbers, so we set these a little conservatively high. That would leave you with estimated proceeds available for hard and soft project costs, the money going into the actual projects, of $78,750,000. The maximum interest rate is listed at 6%. If you were issuing these today, you'd be right around 4%. Obviously not issuing these today. This might be done over a number of years. We've set this conservatively high at 6%. We would hope that that number would be much lower when and if these bonds are issued. Maximum term of the bonds by state statute, you can't pay these bonds back for more than 20 years. Estimated interest cost is based on the full 80 million at 6%. That comes out to $45,007,083. Again, if and when these bonds are issued at hopefully is a much lower interest rate, this interest cost will come down hopefully significantly as well. Maximum annual payment, this is the highest payment you can have in any 1 year. We've listed that at $10 million. The net increase over your 2026 debt service levy, I think I've said this about 15 times by now, we are not increasing the debt service levy as a part of these proposed projects. And then the last two pieces of information that we have to list per statute, school corporations max annual payments, that would be the almost $6 million levy that we showed. As a percentage of your net assessed value is 0.51%. And then the direct and overlapping debt, that would be the school's debts plus the other units' debts that the taxpayer would see. As a percent of NAV, that is 7.37%. That's what I have for you tonight. I know I talk really fast. I apologize. Are there any questions that I could help answer at this time?
Would you go over maximum term of bonds again? When's it got to be paid back by, or?
So as you issue bonds, state statute only allows you to go 20 years.
That's the maximum.
That's correct.
Okay.
But it's per bond issue.
Right.
So if you sold a bond this year, you'd get 20 years
20
for
years,
that bond.
yeah.
If you waited another 5 years, you'd then get another 20 years for
Okay.
that bond. Yes,
Thank
correct.
you, Matt.
Yep.
Just to reiterate, you said the maximum, about 80 million. I know we're talking before fees or anything there, but that is the amount that would not change a tax levy or a tax rate.
Correct. Yeah.
For our community.
So the 80 million is not technically your maximum capacity. That does leave some room in the future, but the 80 million can be accomplished without increasing the levy. Absolutely. Yep.
If we did take out a bond, say this year, and some of that's going to be paid back, so that would take away from the total 80. Let's say we took out 5 million.
Correct.
Some of that's going to be paid back. So in 2 years, that may not be 75. It may be a little bit more because we've paid some of our original bond back. Correct.
Correct.
So if
That
we
is-
space this out, that number could stay high.
That is, yes. So the capacity, we look at it kind of in 20-year snapshots, but as you issue bonds and pay them back, you kind of keep a rolling capacity in the future. So you would not look at this as over the next 20 years, that's all the dollars we get. As you start to issue right now, that's kind of what we've projected. But as you get down the future, you're going to regain some of that capacity as you pay out those bonds. Absolutely, yes.
Good question.
Excellent. Any other thoughts? Okay. Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Will you hop back over to the other? You got it. Thank you.
We will now open the public hearing. Remember, if you would like to speak, please sign in on the sheet, which was located at the back of the room. As I had mentioned earlier, we ask that you state your name and address, limit your comments to the proposed project and financing, keep any comments to 3 minutes and avoid being repetitive if possible. I have this sign-in sheet here, so I'll be calling the names that we have listed, and I believe we have just one listed, Sarah Duffy.
Hi, I'm Sarah Duffy, and I want to be, I'm talking about you have been talking about doing elementary school repairs for a lot of years. You said these things have been put on the back burner. Well, I want to say, go ahead and do it. I support solid schools and spend the bond money for having us have solid elementary schools. I am not for spending the money for a glamorous, multi-million-dollar glitzy field house. Maybe you might have money to do that sometime in the future. But I say, look at your project binder that you have about the repairs that are due now and due over the next 8 years in your binder. And take care of the things that are in there, such as the freezers that are out in the parking lot, the need for the electrical upgrades, the needs for equipment. And one thing I'd like to say is, please tell the public exactly what you will use the $80 million bond for, what you will do, what school you'll do it on, and when. And I suggest having a community outreach session, maybe at the high school auditorium, and let everybody in the community hear about your plans and have a chance to weigh in. Your superintendent, Gary, he talked about transparency and having opportunity for community influence, and I think that's exactly what you need to do. So once again, I'm all for supporting solid elementary schools. I do want to hear more what was said at the last meeting about building a new elementary school, being able to build a new elementary school in Brookville while also repairing and keeping open Laurel Elementary School and Mount Carmel School. So there's a lot of generalities that you covered tonight, and I would like to see a lot more specifics. And there's a lot of specifics that you have talked around the edges about in the last few months. Thank you for taking my comments.
Thank you, Sarah. And I will say there's more to come there. As we've said tonight pretty clearly, I think, and as Matt just described, this is a long process. So talking around the edges and in generalities has kind of been where we are at the high level right now, but there's more to come. There's definitely more specifics. I think you have seen the binder. There's work being done. It's just taking a long process to get it done. So thank you. That was the only one signed up. I don't know if anyone else in the room wants to speak on the project. Did you want to speak for, this is specific to this project? Do you want to speak? Oh, okay. Yeah, come on up, Derek. Is this specific to the bond
Yes.
project? Okay,
Yes.
yeah. You get 3 minutes.
Because I just have a couple of questions maybe to keep in the back.
Derek Cole.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. If you would state your name.
Sorry, Derek Cole.
Thank you.
I guess more of just a couple of questions because I was looking at the information that he had there because he had that I didn't know how much, what it would affect to get to that 0.82 on the tax levy and how much that would hemorrhage for the operations fund and how much you would need for the education to cover that and what point it would get to that point of the 0.82 on the tax debt service.
Matt, I don't know if you want to speak to.
What 0.82 are you speaking of?
He said up there for the tax rate, for the debt service, the maximum rate to keep it budget neutral is 0.82. I didn't know at what point that is, cause to keep it budget neutral and to raise that from the current level of 0.46, you would have to take away from your operations fund. And I just didn't know at what point you would have to start taking more from your
Tax
operation.
rate?
Yes.
So,
You have to come up to the microphone, Matt, sorry.
Just so that everyone
That-
out
first-
there can hear.
You have 3 minutes. Is that the only questions you had?
And then, I guess at this point.
You'll have time to speak again at the public, comments as well in the regular meeting. You can. Yes.
so separate funds, we don't have, significant tax cap issues here, or circuit breaker issues. In school corporations where you have a lot of circuit breaker, you're losing money to the tax caps. What you do in debt can impact operations. Here, we don't have those issues. So they're really, the funds are siloed. The debt service should not impact the operations fund in any way. The operations fund and education fund will interplay. This would solely be in the debt service fund, and would not impact the operations fund in any way.
Okay, but I mean, you had a maximum of their 0.82.
I don't know.
It was a footnote at the bottom.
0.82.
On your last slide.
Oh, I see. Down at the bottom, yeah, with
Yeah.
the debt service tax
Yeah.
rate, yeah. Again, the debt service tax rate would have no impact on what the operations fund.
Well, to
tax
keep
rate would
it,
be.
to keep it tax rate neutral, you would have to take away from that.
Yeah, so the tax rate's not going to be neutral. We're looking at tax dollars here. The tax rate is totally dependent on the assessed value. The state just totally redid how assessed value is going to be done in the future. They're going to limit assessed value, potentially even bring assessed value down. So we would expect the tax rate here and probably 99% of the school corporations in the state to go up. What we're looking at here is tax dollars. Even if the tax rate does go up, that does not mean we're asking for more tax dollars. What we're looking at here is, let's pay the same tax dollars each and every year. The tax rate's going to do whatever the assessed value does, and that's being controlled by Senate Enrolled Act 1, what they just passed over the last two sessions.
Okay. And is any of this being used to pay down what is currently on debt?
Good question.
Thanks, Eric. Okay. Would anyone else like to speak on the project?
Would it be safe to say, Matt, any of these bonds is gonna have zero effect on our operations or education fund? It's not taking money from anything else?
As things currently stand now,
Right.
yes.
We're-
could
that's
there
our
be
goal, is to keep
changes in
everything
the
status quo.
future from the state level that aren't anticipated right now, to which you would then maybe make different decisions? That is possible, but as we know things now and where your circuit breaker is, what you do in debt should not impact operations in any meaningful way.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Put it up to the whole board.
Any other comment? I don't know if anyone else would like to speak or have a question on the board.
Just Dustin, real quickly, I've had a lot of questions about Field House, different projects and things.
Yes, sir.
And I know in our meetings we had spoken about like a 15-year long-range plan.
Okay.
Is there any way that we could get a skeleton plan out to the public that kind of showed the different things and the timeline? I mean, nothing specific, but what we had kind of outlined so they would know what we're talking about. You know, the next 2 exits for the high school and just things
Sure.
like that, because they want to know.
So these major projects that you're talking about are exactly the phase that is the next step for the board to decide upon. And we have a list of ideas, right? I asked, hey, tell me some ideas, and I got a pretty substantial list of what we think would help us. Now the board soon, as soon as, very soon, we'll start making those exact plans. Tonight is not about playing those plans out, it's protecting the opportunity to have those plans. The unified project ensures that we're in a position that, as the board has those conversations, and also speaks to the community around, here's what we're thinking, here's what we want to do, and all the processes you can think of, we're entering that phase next. So there's a list of ideas that we've come up with. You've named a couple, right? There's ideas around a second entrance. There's ideas around a field house. There's ideas around a bus garage. There's ideas around, and we have a list. You get the idea. We have to decide what's next. And then, of course, it would be wise with what we're looking at to say, okay, and then what, right? I have direction from you to fix our elementary schools, and that's the direction you gave me. And so this is also part of that. But then because what I'm talking about with fixing elementary schools isn't going to reach anywhere near this volume of money. Of course, we've talked about those numbers. We do got to decide, okay, what is next? And then also be wise, right? If the board decides to do something different with any of the 3 elementary schools, if there's any other plans that come up, which is not where we are right now, you've given me clear direction. We want to make sure that we're being wise as hammer hits nail as soon as next spring, because that's reality of when the hammer and nail should meet on these projects, that we're doing it under the direction of performance, which is, cart before horse, make sure you're doing things the right way so you're not spinning your wheels, right? And that we're also leveraging just good planning. And so we're already talking with performance around ensuring that we're protecting those wise choices on the administrative side of things as we address our list, right? And so one example, it is, according to performance, better to quote 3 roofs at the same time versus trying to do piecemeal, because you get a better price from a contractor. And so decisions like that. But you've given me clear direction about the elementary schools. We've made a complete list, not complete list, we've made a list of ideas around, okay, we know our capacity is substantial compared to that project. So the question is, okay, what's next? And now we start that process. So to give you a skeleton of timeline, we don't have that yet. We have a list of ideas.
Not so much of a timeline, but just a roadmap that we had discussed for the 15-year future, because
Sure.
the people want to know, and they keep asking me questions about different things.
Okay.
And
So right now,
I tried to explain a little bit, but we need just to communicate with the folks and get some input from the folks.
so what I've been talking about for the last couple of months from here and from over there is this list of projects, right, that you've given me direction on. And at the same time, we've been communicating about, what are these other ideas, right? And so our 15-year projection would be, I'm preparing our elementary schools to be viable for at least a decade. That was the question I asked of both of the assessors. Can I get at least a decade out of these buildings? Is that the end? No, but I want to make sure that what we're doing protects that investment, because at some point the buildings are going to be in need of something else, right? So I can give you that window, right? Because that's the window that we've had from the list of projects. After that, anything center campus related or other campus related is on the table to describe, but we don't have to wait for this to be finished. So while we're doing this, we're also planning the next phase and can initiate the next phase, all happening in a domino, but we don't have to wait for one to be done to do another. But as far as a 15-year window, that's our next conversation. That really is. And so we'll be having conversations here around, okay, what are you thinking? What would you like? We'll be having conversations and maybe even some meetings dedicated solely to that right here, where we'll have open dialogue, maybe around a circle of tables. Okay, here's our list of ideas so far. What makes sense? What do you want us to pursue? And so that's really where we are in the process. Tonight is about protecting our opportunity to do that.
Well put.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to just add a little bit here. I think the investment in the 80 million projection is a great idea. It gives us flexibility for growth in the future. Okay. Now, I would disagree with some of the things that are said here because it's the majority of the board, not all of the board. I want people to know that, because I'm in disagreement in certain spots, and I'm not going to get in that tonight. But I think the focus is on the bond itself, or the possibility of the bond. And I think I'm 100% involved in that. So I just wanted to make that statement. So
Thanks, Greg.
I think one thing too that we need to bring up here is that we were advised by, what's your what's your girl that you sent down? What's her name?
Kristen.
Christine?
Kristen.
Kristen.
Kristen from Ice Mill.
Okay.
She's from Ice.
Oh,
She's
Ice Miller.
different.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so- Wrong firm. Okay, that she said that we need to protect our dollars before anything else comes down. And this is what we all talked about last time, is this may not be available to us when the state legislature gets out there and does all these things. So we were pretty much not told, but advised to protect, grandfather those monies. So again, I think there's a lot of discussion on what we're going to do with that money. But I think right now is the time that we just need to protect that money. Is that pretty much financial, lady?
Yes.
Okay.
Well put. Yes, yes, I agree completely. And that is, what we were advised. We lean on our business partners like Matt and Kristen. We have to plan with what we know today. Like Matt has said, we're in a great spot. Let's move forward, and that's why we are moving forward to kind of lock in what we do know now. So I would say to everyone, like we've said, nothing is permanent yet. We've made some decisions around elementary upgrades. As you're talking with your community, or for everyone who's listening, we want to hear your ideas.
Yeah.
We don't sit back and wait for us to just tell you what we're doing. Come to us if you have the next big idea. If it sounds like a wish list item, we want to hear it. Obviously, this is a lot of money, so we want to hear it.
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think really too, if people are confused and they do have lots of questions that we're asked, you really need to look into school finance or to talk to somebody. It's very complicated. It'll make your head spin. And so, I can't, being on the board many years, I can't tell you everything about school finance. So if you're really, really interested, you need to look into it, ask questions, ask people that know. And that's why we have Matt here tonight. That's why we had Kristen here the other night. We don't know all of it either.
And we have an incredible local expert as well.
We do.
So our team, 100% behind what you just said.
Yes.
We would love for people to call. We would
Yes.
love to come set up a meeting. We would love. My inbox is clear. My voicemail has 0. So anyone who has questions, getting it on Brookville Chatter is not getting us anywhere.
No.
Right? Like call, ask the questions, set up a meeting. I mean, I can't speak for Kendra's schedule, but I know her heart. And we will absolutely sit down with anyone who has questions. Just ask, and we'll do our absolute best to work around your schedule. And even while Kendra's out, we have someone coming in that's going to help us that also can sit down, look at our finances in general. We will spend time with you. But Facebook Chatter is not going to get us the answers, right? Like call and ask the questions. Kendra, do you want to add to that?
Absolutely. My inbox is open as well. Although I will be out for a short amount of time, I will be back in. Not only if you have questions about our finances, also around the laws that on ways that we can use our finances is a big misconception. I apologize. I have a little bit of a head cold. So any phone calls or emails, please send them my way. And if I don't know, I will absolutely find the right answer and make sure to clear up any confusion or any questions that may come along the way.
And that's what I was just going to say. I applaud Kendra because Kendra's really dug deep. I mean, she's gotten us answers. She'll be honest with you. You go in, you say, "Oh, well, I really don't know," and she'll find out for us. So she's been an awesome partner.
And I think myself, it's interesting when you get a group of people together because you have a question to answer to a question, and all of a sudden you have another question because it kind of perpetuates itself. So when you do it from an individualistic spot, it's tough opposed to a group night. You did it like a group night activity where you have a group of people, which would bring about a series of questions, a series of understanding. So that might be a possibility. So it probably would depend on how many people are interested in that, so, I kinda like that piece myself, but, it makes us a little bit more open.
Absolutely. Excellent. I think that's all of the comment. I do have to apologize. I was so excited to talk about this bond. I jumped
Yeah.
right past the roll call. So just for the minutes or for the record, we'll do a quick roll call and then we'll officially adjourn this public hearing. Kevin Kaiser.
Here.
Jessica Brennan, I'm present. Greg Burris.
Here.
Beth Foster.
Here.
Katie Holman.
Here.
Kim Simonson.
Yes, ma'am.
And Brandy Wilson.
Here.
And Brandy should be noted that she's attending virtually. Okay, well, I thank you for that very much. Thank you for all who participated in the hearing. We appreciate your time and interest in the project and the future of our community. Please note that this is just the first step in the legal process. No board action is legally required at this hearing. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment. The board will continue to work with the administration and its professionals to look for efficiencies and to conserve tax dollars while meeting our educational needs. The board will hold a second public hearing in this boardroom on August 10th at 6 p.m. in about a month. So that is adjournment.
Start at the top, do the whole thing, right?
Yep.
Matt, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks
Honestly,
again.
thank you. Safe drive.
Hey, Matt, I like to see your Stifel advertisement on billboards now.
You want it on a billboard?
No, I've seen
You've
them.
seen it?
And-
Oh,
yes.
they're big.
Love it.
Okay.
All right,
That's in Franklin County.
That's
Are we live again?
Ready.
No, in
Do we need it okay from
Cincinnati.
I'm
Toby?
talking
Toby, are
about
we live?
athletic fields.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we are up and live.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so 6:44, I believe. We will call to order our regular school board meeting on this Monday, July 13th, 2026 for the Franklin County Community School Corporation. We will start with a pledge of allegiance and moment of silence. If you're able to join us, please do.
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We will do a roll call to start us off this time. It should be noted that we do have a virtual member, so just for clarity, every vote will be a roll call as well as we move through. So I'll start with just a roll call
Interesting.
of our members. Jessica Brennan, I am present. Greg Burris,
Present.
Beth Foster,
Here.
Katie Holman,
Here.
Kevin Kaiser,
Here.
Kim Simonson,
Yes.
and Brandy Wilson.
Here.
And for the record, Brandy is virtual. Okay, moving right along. So we that takes us to item 4, celebrations, which we have none this month.
We always have a lot to
We always
celebrate,
have a lot to
Brendan,
celebrate.
but we're just not going to take the time
We're gonna
tonight.
take
We'll
what?
celebrate at the fair.
Okay, celebrate at the fair. So that takes us right to item number 5, statements from the public employees. And I've got the sign up sheet here. So in order to address the board, individuals must sign in prior to the start of the meeting. Individuals who have signed in are given 3 minutes to speak. A max of 5 individuals may address the board regarding the same topic, issue, or concern. Individuals are asked to avoid repetition and shall not be permitted to use names of individual employees or students. So we have Sarah Duffy up first. The topic, land purchase.
Hello, I'm Sarah Duffy, and my advice to you and the school board is don't buy a pig in a poke. And I'm talking about that half acre of land on State Route 1 at Wildcat Lane. And I'm going to repeat myself. Don't buy a pig in a poke until it is fully vetted. I think this fits in with the fair this week. Have all your questions been answered from last month? What is potentially buried in that soil? How much is it going to cost to build access to that lot? Have you gotten 2 independent appraisals? I would say take that money that you're calling a land swap and spend that money on building repairs. We just talked about having community outreach. I prefer at the high school and let everybody hear their plans, hear your plans and have a chance to comment. Or as the one school board member said, have a group night and hear your ideas from the public. And I think a public session with a lot of people having a chance to all weigh in is a much better idea than one-on-one emailing the CFO or the superintendent, because how do you know what to comment on? How do you know what to suggest if you don't see the overall plan? Thank you for taking my comment.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay. And then we have Derek Kolb. No? Okay. All set? Okay. Thank you. Nope. He says he is good. So that's all right. Thank you, Derek. Okay. So that will conclude our public comments. Next, we'll take us to consent agenda items. I'm going to start with item A, the minutes. And as we've done before, this is pulled separate just because we did have members who were not present last month that cannot vote on those minutes. So we will pull this aside. Like I said, this will be a roll call vote. You can answer for approving the minutes. For example, you would answer yes, no, or abstain. So I'll just go down the line.
First and second.
Oh, we do.
Yep.
Still, yes, you're right. I always jump right into it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Okay. Is there a motion?
She wants to get to.
Let's just go. This is fair, right?
I move.
Okay, we have Beth Foster. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Katie Holman? Okay.
Any discussion?
Now, any discussion?
I guess I should have said approve minutes because we took that, or did we do the whole consent?
This is just
Just
for
a minute.
item
That's what I said.
A minutes.
Do you want me to add minutes to that motion or not?
I understood exactly.
You
what
okay?
meant.
I understood
Okay.
what you meant, yes. Okay. So we will now do roll call vote. Kevin Kaiser.
Abstain.
Okay. Brandy Wilson.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Kim Simonson.
I will abstain.
Greg Burris.
Yes.
Beth Foster.
Yes.
Katie Holman.
Yes.
Is she here?
Mhm.
Am I thinking correctly?
There was 3 missing.
Were you here last time, Katie?
Yes.
We were missing.
Oh, wait a
Who were we
minute.
missing?
No, I'm
You
sorry.
were on vacation.
Yes,
I was
that's
on
it.
vacation.
Okay.
I couldn't dial in.
Okay.
So how would you like to?
So how would you like to? Okay. Thank you, Katie.
I did read, but abstain.
Okay.
Do you know
Thank
where
you.
you were? Do you?
And Jessica Brennan.
I don't know where I was.
Yes.
Okay.
I tried to
So
dial
that's 1, 2,
in.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So moving on to item number 6, B, C, and D. Is there a motion?
Number 6.
This is the expenditures, resignations, internal positions.
I'll make a motion to approve
Okay. Kevin
6,
Kaiser.
B, C, and D.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Also move.
Okay. Kim Simonson. Thank you. Okay. Any discussion? Okay.
Well, I would like to say something. I guess I have to because I have to go home.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Amy,
What?
well, Amy resigned. This is the resignation, and she was the prom person for 14 years.
Gotcha.
And I want to thank her for doing a great job.
Incredible.
You understand where I'm going?
Incredible, sir. Absolutely. Well done. This man wants dinner the rest of the week. Well done,
Right.
He
sir.
doesn't want to go to the barn.
Well done.
On another note on that, and I know everybody wants to go to the fair, but Brandy and Amy have done, what, 16 years?
16.
16 years. And that's taking care of the prom and all the pre-prom and the
Parade.
blah, blah, parade. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So-
yes, I agree.
Excellent.
Well done.
All right. We will proceed with our roll call vote. Kevin Kaiser,
Yes.
Brandy Wilson,
Yes.
Kim Simonson,
Yes.
Greg Burris.
Yes.
Beth Foster.
Yes.
Katie Holman,
Yes.
Jessica Brennan. Yes. Okay. Very good. This takes us to item E, our new hires.
All right, so we have a list here, and then we'll pause because we have someone to meet tonight. But we'll first do our action. So under new hires, we have Kylie McPherson coming back to us. Super excited to have her come back to us as a teacher at Laurel. We have Michael Schutt. I believe it's Schutt. He'll be our evening ECA custodian, replacing Kim. So we did a special hire for that, and he knows what he's in for, which is great. We have Andrew Hocker, who is looking to be the assistant principal at FCCSC. Brad Stacy coming back, excited about that as well. As a part-time social studies teacher at FCCSC, thank him for that. And we have Mike Bailey joining us as a traffic assistant. And so with that, we need a first, second discussion and a roll call vote.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the new hires.
Thank you. Kevin Kaiser, is there a second? Kim Simonson? Okay, any discussion? Okay. We will have our roll call vote. Kevin Kaiser,
Yes.
Brandy Wilson,
Yes.
Kim Simonson,
Yes.
Greg Burris,
Yes.
Beth Foster,
Yes.
Katie Holman,
Yes.
Jessica Brennan, yes.
And it's okay, I'll take a moment to pause. We have a guest with us. Mr. Harkin, will you come up to the microphone? Your beautiful family was with us, but I know the girls were getting restless. Are they still in the building?
No, they left.
Oh,
It's their
okay.
bedtime.
Oh, understood. It is 7:00 at night. Understood. Yes, sir.
How do you do that?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, take a few moments, introduce yourself, tell us where you come from, all those type of things, and reintroduce your family. Go ahead.
Okay. I had my wife Brooke and my two daughters Hannah and Holly, but they're no longer here. Like I said, it's their bedtime. Coming from North Decatur Junior Senior High School, I taught Algebra 2 there, U.S. History there, Business Math. I got my bachelor's from Indiana University, and then my master's from American College of Education. And I worked under Tim Hollendonner as principal at North Decatur, and he was my mentor throughout my entire master's program.
Well, we want to say welcome and thank you for joining the team.
Thank you.
He walked into a heck of an interview committee and did very, very well. Shannon was there. She's laughing because it's heavy. I mean, we put him in the hot seat, that's for sure. But rose to the top, and we're so excited to have you part of this and all the things. So thank you for coming tonight as well.
Thank you very much.
Anything else from the board before he leaves?
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you here.
I'm very excited to be here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that takes us to item number
Want to grab
7.
a picture with Sarah?
Oh,
Okay,
sure.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I saw her making the move, and I gotta make it famous.
Yeah.
Put you on the chat. Just kidding. Have a good night, sir.
Thanks.
You guys.
Congratulations.
He'll be at the fair later this week.
Excellent. Okay, so now that takes us to item number 7, our financial reports. Kendra, I'll let you take that.
Okay. The education fund balance as of June 30th, 2026 was $4,974,088.02. A year ago, this balance was $6,729,846.58. The operations fund balance as of June 30th, 2026 was $2,556,648.22. A year ago, this balance was $2,159,876.70. The rainy day fund balance has not changed over the past year, and as of June 30th, 2026, it remains at $4,164,641.37. The investment interest earned year to date as of June 30th, 2026 was $228,151.59. And a year ago, this balance was $228,764.71. And yes, I triple checked those because they are very similar. It honestly shocked me, but they are very similar, and that is the investment interest.
And this is discussion only. You can go into the cafeteria. What's your
Okay.
question?
Yep. The cafeteria fund balance as of June 30th, 2026 was $101,797.30. A year ago, this balance was $62,380.53. The latchkey fund balance as of June 30th, 2026 was $5,734.65. A year ago, this balance was $14,506.68.
Excellent. Again, discussion only. Is there any discussion?
Kendra, what happens to the cafeteria after Chartwell's takes over, just out of curiosity?
Can I build on that before you just see? I was going to ask kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So do we have like a set payment, or do they send us a bill every month? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so what happens is we remain in control of our finances. So we remain in control of all the parent payments that come in for a la carte items because we are CEP. We also remain in control of asking for reimbursements from the state. So all of that stays the same as far as financials. And then what happens is if you can consider Chartwell's as basically a contractor. So they are coming in and they will send us an invoice for not only food purchases, but also staff salary. Sorry, yes. And so the staff hourly rate, their payroll, they will send us an invoice every month and a small administration, like an administrative charge as well. So those will come monthly. But other than that, we remain in control of our finances and all the dollars that come in for the cafeteria.
Kids still eat free.
Kids still eat free, yes.
And to sign up for free and reduced lunch, when will that happen?
Enrollment, so it's
During
currently
enrollment?
going on.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Also, we're really excited. There are some opportunities with Chartwells as far as using them outside of just cafeteria needs for catering, if we so choose, for
Interesting.
banquets, things of that nature that they will then invoice whatever group is using them to. So there's a wide range of possibilities. But as far as our cafeteria and our students eating, we will remain in control of the dollars. They will invoice us and we will pay them as needed,
Yeah, that's good.
obviously.
That's good.
Mhm.
Good job, Kendra.
That takes us to item number 8, old business. A is board policy updates.
So you'll see a slew of policy. This is our second read of those. I sent the board all of the language for each policy as well as the summary with an opportunity to read that, ask any questions. So that takes us to a first, second discussion and vote unless there's specific questions before we get our first. But we'll go ahead and assume that we'll walk that path. So I'll need a first, second discussion and vote.
Is there a motion?
I'd like to say something before we do that, if that's okay. Are these all legislating changes?
Not
All
everything.
these?
Many of them are. Some of them are rework of language. It's so extensive, the binder of policies, that they catch different things along the way. And society has just changed as well. Sometimes there's literally just the changing of a pronoun or reflective of shalls or mays or things of that nature. But yes, some of it, a lot of it, reflects legislative changes.
I mean, does it obviously affect the handbook, right? The student handbook?
There's only one thing that substantially changes in our handbook, and we already did that.
Okay.
And that was our cell phone policy at the high school level.
Right.
That's the only thing that was really substantial.
Okay, so because I see dress code things here.
Yes, it really just opens the door that we're allowed to have dress code and that we're allowed to enforce it, things of that nature.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Beth Foster, Katie Holman, second. Okay.
I have one other question.
Sure.
I asked this a while back. I'll just ask again out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Have we looked at other vendors?
I have.
And have you seen ISBA is now offering that service?
So I saw that as well.
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
Yeah. So I have looked at other vendors, and I reached out to the board and said, okay, essentially, do you want me to pursue this? There's a cost to change, of course. And then obviously there's a significant amount of work. It's not crazy difficult. It isn't, but like there are things that have to get done. Here's my truth around it. I have yet to have an encounter over 2 years here where any of our board policy hindered me from doing what was right for kids or for our staff, right? And so before I invest significant dollars or things of that nature, this program already is vetted, right? And there are other programs that are also vetted. I haven't feel one time restraint through Neola at all. So at this time, I wouldn't suggest a change. Why spend money when you don't have to? That's just my opinion.
Well, I'd like to follow up with Kevin too. I know you and I talked about
Yes,
that
sir.
change in mid here, 6 months ago?
About that.
Yeah, I just want you to feel comfortable with what we have.
Sure.
I know that one of the attorneys we had earlier in the year scrutinized our Title IX policy, said it was a little bit unclear. So, I mean, you might look at that. So, okay.
I haven't hit a wall yet, but I hear you.
Yeah, I'm just as long as I mean, you're going to be the one on the front line here, so you should feel comfortable with what you got. Yeah,
I appreciate
so,
that.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. We have a first and second. We will now take a roll call vote to approve the board policy updates. Kevin Kaiser,
Yes.
Brandy Wilson,
Yes.
Kim Simonson,
Yes.
Greg Burris,
Yes.
Beth Foster,
Yes.
Katie Holman,
Yes.
and Jessica Brennan, yes. Great, thank you so much. Okay, that takes us to item number 9, new business. A is the land contract. I'll speak to this briefly. So this is reappearing on our agenda this month. It was on our agenda last month as an item and was voted on typical board protocol. There was only 4 of us, so we did have quorum and we did have majority, but we learned after the meeting that there is one more caveat to a land purchase, which means you also have to have the majority of your board members. Since we did not have 4 yes votes at that time, we are revisiting it again. So I apologize for that oversight on my part, and was thankful to have that brought to us after the fact to revisit this one.
And I'll walk that path right with you, right? We try to make sure that we do things the right way,
Yeah.
always clear, always upfront, but we are learning, new processes. So I do also apologize to the board as well as the community about that process. It is, many of the business items can be done in quorum. There are just a few items that have to be done the majority of the whole board, and with 3 votes of yes, that did not meet that. And so Jessica and I talked about it, and thank you to Mr. Simonson and also Ms. Duffy for bringing these things up, and we're happy to take a look at that. And so we're bringing it back today. So with that,
I know you, if I could interject, I know you called ISBA on that, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we had
Did
extensive.
we need a second assessment?
so eventually we will, before we cut a check,
Okay,
before we cut a single check to finish the job, we have to have 2 assessments. That is correct.
okay.
Yes, sir.
All
Typically, this will be in our discussion portion, but I'll go ahead and talk about it just a little bit. So, out of the facility committee came this idea. The idea was brought to the whole board. I pursued it with, do you have interest in this? And there was enough favorable interest that we began to pursue it. I also was able to gain some limits as to like what reasonably can we spend on this. And so eventually the offer came through within those limits. And I hope to save us $1,000 of land appraisal. We brought it to the board, but I can't cut a check until we get it fully appraised. Amber helped me with this. She helped me schedule the first appraisal after the last meeting. That's been done. We have our second one still coming. The first appraisal came in right within the range we need it to be. So no reason for a barrier there. The second appraisal, then they average the 2, and that creates your cap. I have no reason to believe that cap will be below what we're looking at ultimately, but there is a second appraisal still happening, but we will not cut a single check until we know that that's all done. But as always, I like to get direction from the board. So with that,
We will take that further before we cut the check.
tell me more.
The second appraisal, you mean?
No, before we cut the check, will that be taken into the zoning board? Will that be taken to the highway department? Will that be taken to soil? All these things before we pay for this?
So all the things you just named are not requirements for the purchase. If the board gives me direction to not do anything until we get all those things, I will follow the board's, but according to process, those are not things that are required before we make a purchase.
Well, you better check the highway department.
I think that's gonna be in discussion, isn't it? I mean,
We still have our discussion.
We
have a first, a second,
Yeah.
and then a full discussion,
right.
and then a
Okay.
vote. And also know that, just so the board knows, Amber, our legal counsel, has been with us from the beginning of this process. So I am taking her steps along the way. She's fully with us, taking us step by step all along the way, so we
Right.
stay compliant. The only piece she wasn't a part of was us coming together with only 4 members, and
Right.
so she wasn't here for
Yeah.
that.
I don't fault anybody for, even though I sent Jessica an email, I wasn't criticizing her. She's doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
Except for getting us out for the.
Trying to get out for the fair, right?
So let me at
Yes.
least read this out loud. So ultimately, the recommendation is for a purchase of 0.547 acres located on Wildcat Lane and State Route 101 for $75,000. With that, I would need a first, a second, and then of course our discussion and any vote.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the land contract.
Kevin Kaiser, is there a second?
Second.
Katie Holman? Thank you.
Discussion?
And discussion.
Wide open.
Yes,
Mike?
I'd like to say something. I'm not in favor of the purchase. I think you already know that. There's just so many unknowns over there on that property, and, we've talked about it. We talked about the fact that it was a dump site. It wasn't near the size that it is now, so you have to understand that there's a sinkhole over by Brandy now. I wonder the potential for that property. There's been no water study taken about the quality of water that's coming through that section. And I hate to say this tonight, but on the way in, I thought about this. Brandy, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
That property runs down behind your mom and dad's, right? There's
My mom and dad's house is down the road from it. It actually sits behind Bowman's house.
Okay.
In the water and soil place.
But
Right.
that creek runs down through there.
No, the creek is not behind my mom and dad's house.
Okay, there is an old graveyard there, right?
The graveyard sits in the corner in between Bowman's and my mom and dad's, back by my parents' garage.
So we're not sure the boundaries of that graveyard.
The graveyard doesn't, from my understanding, was just located in between my parents and Bowman's.
Which would put it almost on that property. If it
Well,
had,
that property sits more so behind the water and soil place than my parents and Bowman's.
no, it runs south because that property has 3 parts, all of which is IDOT, Indiana Department of Transportation, which has about a 60-foot easement. But my point is, I think it would be worth the time to investigate to see where that graveyard is. So
You just can't put a permanent structure on the graveyard. So my mom and dad have a shed that sits on the back where the graveyard is actually located.
yeah, well, that's a question too. What's the setback from?
But my parents' land does not have a creek, no, and it does not have, it goes all the way down to the back of the hill to the highway.
Yes. Yeah. No, there's a pipe that runs under the highway right there.
Didn't realize that.
Yes, it's about 5 foot tall. I think it runs under that property. Why would I know that? Well, I've been up through it. So, so there is some. I'm just saying there's some unknowns here. I'd like to see us stop a little bit and do a little bit more investigation. So, I'd like to make a motion to pause this.
Well, we have a motion on the table currently.
Okay, can we make a motion to retract that?
The person who made the motion would like to.
Okay. Kevin?
So,
No?
I mean,
Who's a
in
no?
discussion though, I mean, so we've had an assessment
Still
done.
discussion. Yeah.
Do we feel that if there, and I don't know what your concern is, do we think that it's too close to a cemetery? I don't
Well,
understand
that
the concern.
cemetery would definitely could be a colonial cemetery. It's so old there. Could
like
be
that was just-
historic. I don't know. I don't know what we're getting into.
Right,
I'm just saying.
Right, and that's, I understand, I'm just trying to understand the impact to
Yeah,
that
me too.
land. I would expect that
So
would
if
be
if
disclosed.
they said the cemetery is not an issue, the water line's not an issue, soil's not an issue, none of those are an issue, would you be okay with the purchase?
And I still would not be okay because I don't think it's a good
Okay,
idea.
so does this
Okay.
have something to do with the purchase, or are you just trying to find a reason not to do it?
Well, I think that's somewhat rude. Number one,
I'm
Okay.
asking.
I'm telling
That's
you.
rude.
Yeah, that's
I'm
why I
against
asked
it.
if,
I think
I
the
asked
money.
if you would be okay with the purchase if everything passed, so even if we went through the process of having all those tests done and paying for them, you're saying you still wouldn't vote for
Oh,
it, right?
Is it my turn?
That was my question.
Yeah, my answer is no. I won't vote for it.
Okay.
It's not a good investment. The money should be spent somewhere else. So,
I hear that, and I
Yeah.
certainly think we have a job to be prudent with how we spend money. I do, and I hear, the comment as well from the public, and I thank always you all for taking the time to come and give us that. But my thought is that we are taking cash, right, from the sale of a building that was not in use by the school, at least for years. So that was sitting for years, not being used, and putting it to work. Locking in a spot that who knows what could go there next if we don't. I know there's a lot of unknowns. We could probably drum up lots of potential issues that we would have to vet out. I don't know that would help, as stated anyway, to make it a better idea in your mind. But my thought is, I think it's a much better use of the money as far as putting that to better use. We haven't had a better idea yet. As far as elementary upgrades, we've got a lot of bond dollars coming to us. We've got more than we can dream of to upgrade an elementary, or the other ideas we've came
Well,
up with.
the thing with that is that we're just buying that $75,000 is just for the land. If you want to put an electric sign there, you're gonna have to have electric. You're gonna have to put a driveway or something to get in there. The sign's gonna cost over $100,000. I looked up a sign, and that's gonna cost over $100,000. So you're talking about on a property, for $75,000. That's not the end of your cost.
I don't know.
That's not the end of
Of
what we're
course,
gonna
the
spend.
maintenance would be minimal.
No,
if
I'm
we're
not talking about
that.
maintenance. I'm just talking about putting the
Well,
sign
and
there.
we've not chose a sign, so I don't know where 100,000 came from, but that's
Well,
that's
for an
not the
electric
amount.
sign, Jessica. Electric sign.
I think Kevin's done some research on that, but I've not.
Yeah, Jessica, the resolve to say that we have money that came from the waterworks, well, to me, that I can't use that myself because taxpayers' money built the building originally when the old high school was there. So you don't escape that. We paid for that.
Sure.
The people of the county have paid
Of course,
for that.
yeah.
So it's still taxpayers' money that we're using to
Right.
purchase the land.
And my point was just it sat for years not being utilized at least by the corporation. So at
Yeah.
least now we're putting it to use to protect our kids and security. Again, my big fear is if we don't buy that corner, I have no idea what would go there. And
It's been sitting there for a long time.
that does not lock in. I've seen it happen time and time again. It doesn't lock in. Nothing will
That's
go
my
there.
opinion. That's my
Mhm.
opinion.
I think it might be prudent
Yeah.
to hear from members of the facility committee around like how did this idea come to fruition?
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
Of course.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
And, there's 3 members of the committee. Go ahead.
I will go first.
Oh.
I can never tell.
No,
You guys hear
she's
noise?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep hearing a noise, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
Myself, Mr. Burris, Miss Brennan are on the facilities committee, and this has been a discussion since October, if not before then. And I have said from the very beginning, I have no problem saying that this was my idea. That land is there. It sees 3 times the traffic as what Oxford Pike and Wildcat Lane sees. As far as the land purchase, yes, the money came from selling the old admin building. If we get one student because of advertising, and they are here for their entire school career, I don't know what other word to use, but career, we get that money back for that student that can go to the education fund, that can pay for education needs or a teacher or something of that nature. So that is the goal. We are in a day and age that we need to market ourselves. And that is a prime location for a sign, not only just to let people know we're back here, because a lot of people that aren't from here don't even know it's back there at the central campus. They don't know where the athletic facilities are. So that helps with that. It helps with advertising, our school, our corporation, to the lake traffic, anybody coming in and out of town. That's about 50% of the traffic coming in and out of the town. As I said, the study showed that traffic going by that intersection is over 3 times what it is at Wildcat Lane and 101, and it's only 500 feet apart. So that is a very significant difference. The people that go through the intersection at Wildcat Lane and Oxford Pike to see the existing sign, which is, I'm sorry, it's outdated. They're either living on Oxford Pike between Wildcat Lane and Cooley Road, because if not, you go up 101 and around. Right now, everybody goes up Oxford Pike. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Or they already go to school here. So we're not gaining anybody new by advertising our school. As far as the cost of the sign, yes, that is my end goal idea, is an electronic sign. And I did contact one company, only one, because we're not at a point of getting multiple bids. And the size of the sign that we would need is about $58,000. And my goal is to get sponsorships to pay for that sign. It is financed and can be paid for over the course of 5 years. It comes to about $830 some a month. the question was asked to me, would we want to advertise a business on this sign? And my response was, if they're paying for it, absolutely. If it's going to help us and them, then yes. And I've heard, we can't ask businesses for more money. Ivy Tech just bought a new scoreboard for South Dearborn. So
Do you know why? She was here. Do you know why? I'm not gonna answer.
I don't. My point is, there are businesses out there that would be willing to help pay for this. And the end goal is to market ourselves, to keep the enrollment from going down, because so far we need a solution to stop the enrollment from dropping. And eventually we want our enrollment to go up. So that is the entire plan and the reasoning behind it. It's not just to buy a piece of land. It's just, that is a good return on investment in the long run. We control our entrance. We have visibility, and it prevents anybody else from putting something there. And in the long run, I've also said it would be nice if we could put a sidewalk across there, which I'm not encouraging kids to walk over to the gas station, but they do to get pizza. So if we can make it safer, if we own both sides of that and can work with different organizations and grant opportunities, then that might happen as well. So that is my reasoning behind it. We spoke about it many, many times in our committee, and that's what the committees are for. The committee brought it to the full board and are making the recommendation to purchase this land.
Any other committee members?
Greg, you're on the committee. Any thoughts?
Well, this has kind of been a pet project of mine from the start, and I love this project, and I still do. But I've had such a pushback from the community and the taxpayers. My area hates it. And I had a mother call me today, and she said, I have never driven by a high school and looked at their sign and said, I'm going to send my kid to that high school because of that sign. Safety has been a big issue for us to own that. And I sought out counsel from Dustin and Kendra and Shannon on it today. And after speaking with them, I think my yes vote is going to turn into a no. Kendra's a little concerned about paying for it going forward and the cost. And now's just not the best time for this. I've worried a lot about this project, and it's not that big of a project, but I worked the will of the people, and my people are saying no.
I think I've shared this with you in the past, but my only concern there is we have to get a full sample size of the whole county. Like Kevin said, we're worried about enrollment, but we're not losing them in our elementary schools. We're losing them at our high school. So I don't think it's the sign that attracts the families, but perception is reality. We do know that the safety is important to our kids. And that's, to me, is the big thing, is locking in that corner, ensuring who knows what could go in there. That alone is important to me. So that's my thought. And yes, from the facility committee conversations, being able to put that $75,000 to use, we have fabulous partnership here that it was listed much higher, but being a really great community member was willing to meet us where we were, just to ensure the safety for our kids and support that cause. So I love the idea. I think it makes so much sense, and this is not a gigantic project. I know it feels big, but this is not a household budget. This is not a household that we're running. This is a gigantic corporation in a big county and a big community with a lot of families in it. So that's my 2 cents from what my position was from the facility meeting.
Just don't think it's the time nor the place.
I have to say I'm not on the committee, by the way. I just want to make that known. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, Brandy.
So I do want to clarify. That was, because I'm sorry, Ken, but I did want to answer your question. That was McCarty Cemetery that you were speaking about, and that's located in between my parents' house and Bauman's house. It does not go behind Bauman's house. And as far as the drain pipe that you were referencing to, I can speak that there is no drain pipe behind my mom and dad's house. There could be behind Bauman's in the water and soil, but that would not be located behind my parents' house.
Yeah, you're right. It's not behind your house. Yeah.
It goes.
Yeah.
It's more up farther. Yeah.
And as far as the land purchase, I would just like to say, I do think that for safety, it is very important because that is a dangerous pullout right there. That hence why we have rumble strips now and a police that stands there for the guard in the traffic guard in the morning. And making sure that kids have a clear view. I would hate for someone to come and put like a car wash or some type of business that could block that pullout. Because the other entrance that we do have from Oxford Pike, that is a one-way now. We all know why that is a one-way. And so, keeping that clear entrance is an exit is important, and it is important for the safety of our children as well. And then as far as the sign, I think that it would be a great way for businesses and to also broadcast for our students. You go up by Indy, up by Greenwood, and by their school, they have miles around in the roundabouts promoting their school with their mascot, and it shows just a sense of pride. And what we have very minimal sense of school pride in our community, and I think that sign would be a way to start and show, like, hey, we're proud of this school. Look what we have to offer, and that is my 2 cents about it.
Thank you, Brandy.
May I weigh in
Of
on
course.
that? I am for the purchase of the land, and I had spoken with Greg when this was first coming about, and then I had spoken with Dustin as far as what my thoughts were for it. My reasoning for it was, number one, the safety, not knowing what could go into that property. And yes, it has sat empty the entire time I've lived in Franklin County. But that doesn't mean something couldn't go in there. But another aspect of that was it's not inviting when you drive up to that corner. It's just not something that, reflects the personality of our school or anything else. The entire time I've been on the board, even prior to that, one of the aspects that we thought of as far as our schools was the presentation. The how does it look when you walk up to that building? We've had comments on we don't have enough shrubbery, or we don't have enough, flowers, or it's just not pretty when we walk up. And I do appreciate that because I want it to look inviting. I want it to be inviting. I want it to be a safe environment. If we own the property, then we can guarantee that it's cleaned up. It can look presentable to the county. Whether or not we can afford to get the electric sign right away, I love the idea of how to pay for it. And being the business that my husband and I have been in for years, electric signs can bring in such things. And, that's a wonderful thing. But if we can't afford that at this point, we can at least ensure what is there on the corner and that it looks presentable, that it looks inviting, that people would want to come back. I've asked for several years for the consideration of sidewalks, because when we drive in for the games and we see the students walking back and forth, there aren't any sidewalks to walk on. There's no safety. I love it when the group put the sidewalks in along the side of Fairfield Avenue. I love the advertisement from all of our elementaries as they put their art projects up there. There isn't any reason why we can't do something with that piece of property. And if there is a cemetery that is being neglected, we have a history department in our school. Then run the history on it, take care of it. We have an agricultural department in our school. Then take care of whatever would need to be planted or maintained. But I just think that it would speak volumes as opposed to what it looks like right now.
Certainly. Thanks, Katie. If there's no other comment?
I have one more comment. I still, at this point, the cemetery brings a big issue, and I had no idea that was there.
There is not a cemetery there, Beth. The cemetery was in between my parents and Bauman's in that empty lot that's in between their house. There was not a cemetery there. the cemetery was moved up off Bath Road on, I believe that's called Franklin Church Road up there, where, in the Bath Road intersection, that's where that cemetery currently sits, is up there. But because the cemetery was so old that they couldn't guarantee that all of the headstones and the bodies were moved, that if that section of land right there, they could not build a permanent structure on. So that's why when that land was sold, Ginlings and my parents actually went in and split that land and had it surveyed off. So that area in between my parents and Bauman's currently, that is where the cemetery was.
But is it still there? You said that
No,
they could.
there is not a cemetery there. The cemetery was moved up to Bath Road, that cemetery that's off Bath Road.
No,
That is where that cemetery was moved to.
they
But-
can't assure you that there's not bodies still there, is what she said.
Correct.
Yes.
Wait, so are you saying there's a cemetery on this corner?
No, it's in between
It's
the
in
two
between.
houses.
So I don't think the cemetery's in play at all.
There's not.
Yeah,
Well,
it runs to
but-
the back of the property.
But
It's
you
not
got-
on our property. It's not on this property that
But
we would
these
own.
old cemeteries, help me, Kim. You
Yeah.
were in the history thing. These old cemeteries, they've got zoning things and things.
No, I'm
you
just
can't-
saying it could run to the property. I don't know if
Right.
it doesn't or it does.
Right.
I
But I
think that
know
would
it's
be
there.
disclosed, I would hope.
So thus far, our appraisal does not show anything about a cemetery and the
There
mapping
is
of.
not a cemetery.
There's not a cemetery.
I
Yes.
don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't know the things I don't know. But on our first appraisal, as well as the map, what she's describing would not be impactful towards this. So just to be clear.
Yeah.
On the first appraisal.
I personally think that if we've got a cemetery, there's probably not a cemetery there, but we have a lot of older cemeteries in Franklin County that you can't. They've got fences around them. The area can't be. They can only be mowed or whatever. I think that needs to be discussed before we. Even looked into.
So to be
before
clear,
we-
and I don't want to be rude at all by any stretch, but if that were vetted out, to Kevin's question earlier, would that then change your mind?
No.
So that's where I'm saying is let's.
Yeah, but
It
let's
might change
decide.
somebody else's.
It may, but again, we can cook up lots of things. I mean, we could say there was
No,
a McDonald's on that lot,
I'm-
and then we have to now say we have to be sure there was never any grease dumped there. I don't know. I feel like
No,
we're
this is
coming
pretty-
up with lots of funny things
This is
to make
pretty
sure.
significant, Jessica. I understand what
There
you're
is
saying.
not a cemetery on that lot.
No, there is a cemetery.
Not on the lot we're talking about.
Okay, did they know that there was an existing cemetery that butted to the property?
So there's nothing, again, I can only speak to what's here, right? Nothing here says anything about a cemetery or the possibility. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that it's not here.
Yeah, I'm saying that even what Brandy says, it exists. There is a cemetery between those two properties, okay?
Not between the properties we are purchasing. It is up on top of the hill by the large oak tree that sits by my parents' house.
Yeah,
That is
but
where the cemetery was located.
The property
It is not
pie,
down there.
the property
I
pie
don't
is down
know.
that way.
So my mom and dad lived the first house as you come up Oxford.
Yeah, I know.
Then there is a lot in between that is half owned by my parents and half owned
Right.
by Bauman's.
Right,
Then it's Bauman's house, then it's the soil place.
right.
Which is like a Musselman's or something like that organization, and then that property sits behind there. So that property that we are purchasing does not have the cemetery on it. That is not where that cemetery, and it's not
The-
technically there any longer.
You can't.
Brandy,
Because it was a cemetery, that is in between my parents.
do we have a picture of the property outline?
One is not.
I believe the property pie shapes, Brandy. That's my question. It pie shapes. So I'd
It
like
does
to see.
not touch my parents' property though, it touches Bauman's. It butts up along the
Here's
soil,
the pie
the
shape.
soil companies and Bauman's property.
Yeah,
You can
okay.
look it up on the GIS maps, I looked it up earlier.
Okay, here's right here's there, and there's Bauman's. This is the property. That's the property.
Is this the property?
That little diamond.
So the diamond that is drawn out by the appraiser.
Right here.
Is the piece that we're looking at. That's correct.
I mean, the one piece falls down that way. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that we can't dismiss that it's not there. You're saying it doesn't go down far enough, but it is shaped like a pie, Brandy. You probably can't see that.
No.
It does
Well,
not
wait a
touch,
minute.
I have looked at the GIS maps, I've looked at it several times, it does not butt
Yes.
up.
This
But,
is the Shell station.
I mean, if you're
And
looking
this is
for
the property
excuses,
that
we
we're.
can.
No,
Let's see.
okay now. Yeah, I'm not looking for excuses, okay? I think we have a due diligence here. That's my point.
I would agree, and I really appreciate that about this board, that we vet these decisions very well because of our varying opinions. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely, just in the fear of spreading false information or rumors out there, let's be really clear that that is not on a cemetery. So, if there is any other discussion, we may have it. If not, we can put this to our roll call vote.
Just in the event that it was there, but we know it's not. We hope that it's not, and we will find out. But in the event that it was there, wouldn't you rather that it was us that was respecting the cemetery and taking care of the property than being in disarray?
It's a good point. I mean, and that was my other thought too, is I don't know how that would stop us from necessarily locking in the security of our students, right? So even if it were to stop a sign.
So I think if there's more discussion, let's have it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If not, let's go to a vote. And I'm sorry, there's no public comment right now. We're just having discussion and vote. Okay, so all in favor to approve the purchase.
Roll
Roll call vote.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is a roll call vote to approve the land contract purchase, 0.547 acres located on Wildcat Lane and State Route 1, Road 101 for $75,000. Kevin Kaiser.
Yes.
Brandy Wilson.
Yes.
Kim Simonson.
No.
Greg Burris.
No.
Beth Foster.
No.
Katie Holman.
Yes.
Jessica Brennan. Yes. So that is a 4 yes, 3 no vote. And the motion will pass. Thank you all very much for the conversation. I do appreciate it.
All right, B.
Okay. So that moves us to item number 9B, recommendations, farmland rental.
Yes, so this is just it was time for our rebid, and we had one bid come in, and it happens to be the same person who's renting it now. So one bid was received for the 25 acres of farmland owned by FCCSC off of Smith Road. I am recommending the board accept the bid from Mr. Doug Bruns for $3,150 for a period of 3 years. So it's $3,150 a year for 3 years. With that, I would need a first, second discussion and a vote.
Is there a motion?
Does that include this year?
Yes.
So it's kind of in arrears. I'm sure he's already planted something.
It's our current year. Yeah.
No, just for the whole thing.
But I guess that's my question, is for 26, 27, and 28.
I'll move.
Thank you.
Second.
Simonson, Kevin Kaiser. Any discussion?
Did you have something to say?
No.
Or were you voting?
I was saying yes, but
Still in discussion.
still in discussion.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to make this quick because everybody wants to go to the fair. But years ago, we had a person that rented that land, and I'm not a farmer, but they ruined the soil. They didn't take care of the soil. They didn't do what they had to add to the soil. Doug's had it, I don't know how long now.
I know at least one contract season. I don't know.
Well, I think it's been more than that,
Sure.
but anyway, he has the soil tested. He has like whatever you're supposed to put on soil to make it productive.
He follows the contract.
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, and yes, just wanted to add that.
I would agree. He's a good tenant, and so far so good, and hopefully that continues.
Any other discussion? Okay. We will do a roll call vote to approve the recommendation for the 25 acres of farmland to be leased by Doug Bruns, Kevin Kaiser,
Yes.
Brandy Wilson,
Yes.
Kim Simonson,
Yes.
Greg Burris,
Yes.
Beth Foster,
Yes.
Katie Holman,
Yes.
Jessica Brennan, yes. Okay, excellent. So that takes us to item number 10, other and our committee reports.
Yep, just so we stay consistent, I'll buzz through these. Any updates from any of these? Academic achievement? Staff morale, any updates? Marketing or connection? Athletic or ECAs? Master facility, any other updates? Budget finance? Transportation? Our redevelopment liaison?
We did have a Franklin County redevelopment meeting. Same as the town, they said they didn't have any extra money for us. You should get that letter soon.
Yes.
But I did make it clear that that just means they're not automatically doing it. We can still make requests as we have in the past. So, we did have a training from the Wheatley group about bonds and TIFs. So that's about it.
Okay. Library liaison.
Still working with contractors and architect on the building across the street for the I can't think of the world.
Yeah, across from the main
Yeah,
library.
What's the
Sarah, what's the name of that?
genealogy?
Oh, yes,
Genealogy.
yes.
And
The
we're
name of
still
the
working
house
on that.
across from the
I got
library.
Newman's house.
Newman, okay.
Newman's
yeah.
house.
All right. Thank you. Anything else on that? All right. From APC, this comes from Mr. Kramer, who's our APC rep. Says, hello, Superintendent Gehring. The APC continues to work on the data center ordinance. We will have a report at the August 12th, at which time I will expect to vote to have another hearing on September 8th and a vote to send it to the commissioners for their approval. New housing has been strong in the county. The APC will have a hearing on August 12th for an update to the code for subdivisions. This deals with updating references to road construction and new subdivisions. Changes are minimal. So that comes from Mr. Kramer. Any other updates from any other groups? That is discussion only.
Okay, discussion only. So that takes us to item 11, the superintendent's report.
Very briefly, first and foremost, if you want to meet some of our new administrators, they'll be at the fair throughout the week. So make sure you stop by and see some of those folks. And we're looking forward to that. Our Kid Whisperer Conference kicked off today. Great crowd, great presentation, wonderful opportunity. So we're really glad it's a national speaker right here at Brookville Elementary. This gentleman goes all over the country and does this presentation, and it's happening right here for our folks. And we're really thrilled about that as well. And then just lastly, I spoke about it earlier, and I'm really not being sarcastic when I say this. If you have questions, honestly, call, email. My cell phone number is just about everywhere. It's on my business card, and you can find it pretty easily. We're a phone call away. Please call with questions. I have no issue with Brookville Chatter as an existence, of course not. But it's just not a place that we go for conversation, right? It's just that's not the space for that. I welcome any phone calls, any visits, any emails. My team does as well. I love an opportunity to meet with our folks about anything they're thinking about, and I just always am open to that. Please don't hesitate. If you're taking it to Facebook, it's probably not going to get you the answer that is full, let alone maybe not honest, or maybe without speculation. It probably is a lot of rumor. So I welcome phone calls, emails, text. I mean, you can find my number, please, and my team does as well. I know that for sure. So please, if you have questions about anything, I'm happy to talk about it. With that, I'll turn it over back to you.
Okay, so item number 12, legislative updates. If you have anything additional.
I'll defer to if you guys want to make any statements or anything. Nothing.
Okay. And then item 13, future agenda requests.
Yes, if I may. I know in March, Governor Braun passed the Bell-to-Bell Act about cell phone use, and there's a number affiliated with that. But what I found interesting is that if you read down in the document, they talked about use of computers K through 6. I would like to see us maybe set up a committee, teacher committee, about doing away with, or getting a survey if they're interested in doing away with computers K through 6. Because if you look at some of the data that's out there now, it supports doing that. So if that means working with Shannon or working with the teacher group or however we can propel that to see if there's an interest or if that's the direction that the board, the community wants to go, I think that would be worthwhile to look at. So, okay, I know it's got a lot of legs to it, but I think it's definitely be worth chasing. Okay.
So where it lands here, just to be so we're on transparent.
Yeah.
As a future agenda request, what you're really asking is for us to take a deeper dive into what's out there. Not necessarily that would show up on the next board meeting,
No,
but
no,
rather
no, no.
let's take a look.
Yeah.
At a K-6 technology usage type policy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We can definitely take a look at that.
Yeah.
I know that Fayette just made some changes in talking with their super. So a lot of that's reflective of what they're already doing. And so I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
Our piece will always be, because we're a little bit different here, is that we also need to be prepared for our weather type days. So it may not be a complete wipe of those processes, but I hear you loud and clear. And certainly Shannon can take a front step around.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, I know that the numbers, and I've talked to Shannon about it too, and even Shannon, when as the principal, did some experimentation at Laurel that had some amazing results. So how can we turn our heads and not investigate
I
that?
don't disagree with you,
Yeah.
sir.
So okay.
Just want to make sure about our process. So we're
Sure. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
On his thought here, it's kind of going, if you look across the state, it's kind of going, we don't have to use the computer the whole day.
Yes, ma'am.
We've got the computer, the laptop, but then we also have the book, or like the younger kids.
Yeah.
They have a hard time navigating, like doing their math or their reading, but our kids still have to have that computer experience, because that's when you get to college, that's all it is.
Yeah. I don't know if it needs to be K-5, K-6,
Right.
but
Right.
the social aspect, and just so many developmental things that's going on in the brain. Then, I mean, you really need to I think we need to take a hard look, and I think from a global standpoint, everybody is doing it right now.
Yes.
So
I hear the directive is take a hard look at what that looks like, and maybe even come back to the board at some point soon around what changes could be made. All right.
Okay. Any other agenda requests? Okay. Recognition and acknowledgements. There are any?
Nothing official here.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Wasn't actually my original question.
Okay.
Greg, I believe, asked, but just if we can, updated numbers on enrollment.
Oh, go ahead, Jen.
Oh, sure.
Next question, Kip.
1754 is our current number as of June 25th. 435 at Brookville Elementary, 185 at Laurel, 226 at Mount Carmel, 333 at the middle school, and 575 at the high school. Do you want particulars? Kindergarten is down. It's our smallest group so far. Across the district, we have 102 kindergarteners.
what was last year?
Last year was 127.
All right. Thank you.
Do you have kindergarten numbers for each of the schools?
I do. And this again is by actual enrollees. So it's if they've gone online and registered.
It's fluid still.
So at Brookville, it's 46. At Laurel, it's 19. And at Mount Carmel, it's 37. That's the actual enrollment, not if they've told us they were coming, which the numbers are considerably higher. But
So our re-registration process versus those who are still within our system, but those lists have been scrubbed to some degree around those who told us they're withdrawing.
yes.
So that's a pretty accurate number where we are right now.
I'll say this, I said it a couple times, not necessarily here, but yes, enrolling early is important. Waiting until the last minute means we don't know how many teachers to hire. We're not short-staffed, correct, at all. So it's not that we can't fill the teacher spots, it's we need to know how many teachers. If you wait till the last minute to enroll, then we have too many kids for the amount of teachers we have, and you'll be upset about that. So
I need to give you
let us know what's going on, and we'll be prepared.
I need to give you updated kindergarten. Sorry, I was looking at June 25th instead of July 9th, and I was wrong. Brookville is 61. Laurel is 36. And Mount Carmel is 37 for 134 total.
So we're in the right direction.
Yes, we are. That's much
That's what
better
I
than
thought you had told me
225.
better numbers than
That
that.
is, that is,
What's going
those,
on?
I was looking at the wrong list,
Well, it's good news, I think.
which puts us above the kindergarten class of last year, which was 128.
Excellent. Wow. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Okay. And if there is nothing else, we will adjourn our meeting. Next regular school board meeting, 6 p.m. Monday, August 10th, 2026 at the Franklin County Administration Building. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
How long's the line over the bridge is what I wanna know.